Good afternoon, everybody. Patrons, YouTube followers, and subscribers, and everybody in between just wandering in. Welcome. We've got a new season. Season 28 of Grand Arena is going to be 3 versus 3. First time in like 6 months, right? So it's kind of a big deal that it's coming back. I'm really excited. You guys know I love 3 versus 3. It lets you make the best use of a big roster like mine. Lets you shake things up. It's a very different mindset from 5 versus 5. And I don't know about you guys, I've been having a good time, especially with the new matchmaking, but I'm grateful to have a change. The threes, I think a lot of people don't like threes, but they need to, pull their head out because, it's just the way it is. All right, guys, I wanted to keep this video fairly brief, so let's get cracking immediately talking about defensive teams. So, I've had a lot of requests to go give my review, and here we go for D. So, Gas 501st, we're going to have Gas, Echo, and Arc Trooper. These guys, this is just a standby. It's a solid defense. It's tough to get through. The hardest possible version of it is with Rex and 5s, but then kind of Echo and Arc sit around a little homeless. They don't really do so well anywhere else. Then you have Newt, Django, and B1. Now, you can kind of mix and match who you want this third slot to be. Some people have a tank. Some people use Nest here, Dooku, triple attacker. But Newt, Django, B1 was very consistent for me in the past, so I think I'm going to keep, I think I'm going to open with that for the season. Darth Revan, Bastila Shan Fallen, and Darth Malik, no introduction required. That team requires a very serious response. CLS, Chupio, and C-3PO. It's a tried and true. This is a great division of the Rebels team. You've got Han Chewie that you can either run with like a wedge lead, or if you wanted a BAM lead on defense, or on offense for that matter, BAM Han Chewie is incredibly effective. But yeah, this is a great way to split your Rebels, CLS, Chupio, C-3PO. Now, something you might not remember here is having a ton of tenacity between these two characters is actually going to be really valuable for 3 versus 3, because the premier counter to this team is going to be RJT BB-8 R2, and that can score full banners, 54. You remember that? 54 is full banners here for 3 versus 3. So, yeah, if they're able to land their debuffs on Chupio, that's over with, man. That's all she wrote. Chupio won't be able to assist anything that CLS is doing, so he's just kind of sitting there feeding stats and waiting to die. As far as GG goes, he wasn't ever that great here in 3s. You could say that he's probably better with B1 here than Magna, but that B1 threat with Django is so compelling, right? Because that means that ideally they're going to go after B1 first, because if they go after Newt or Django, B1's just going to heal them. So they have to focus on B1. In the meanwhile, Django has his contract activated immediately, right? Start a battle. So it's a pretty big deal that he's going to be firing straight away. All right, then we have Nest and the Resistance Brothers. And I set this right next to this Dooku team just to point out that Nest is amazing in 3s. And you're thinking, oh, Tass, why don't you have a leader there for your Resistance Brothers? Well, Nest and the Resistance Brothers itself has caused a ton of people to drop with really impressive things. I've had people drop this with JKR, believe it or not. And that was back before Nest was Relic 8 and everything. So, Nest and the Resistance Brothers, I urge you guys to try it, at least a round or two, and see what you think. It's a really powerful team. But if you're a little more worried about where you want to use your Nest, or if you really just can't get your head around moving away from having Resistance Hero Finn as the lead, you could have Resistance Hero Finn and the brothers, and then you could have something like Dooku Droideka, and I have Sunfac here, who is a tank. He is Separatist, so nice synergies there. The first two characters will go under stealth from Dooku, and then they kind of have to wail on Sunfac. But if I was going to put OG Finn here to lead the brothers, then I would probably put Nest here and have Dooku, Droideka, Nest. That's a mess, man. You don't want to deal with that. As always, guys, this defense I don't know, man. This might be passé now. There wasn't Wampa in the game back then. That's one thing I have to think about. It's probably not going to be possible for you to Wampa-proof. Like, if you're in Kyber 1 with me, there are 15 squads you got to place on defense. What are the odds you're going to Wampa-proof 15 things? So, you might have to accept that your opponent's going to get a good 68 on you, and hopefully you're not 68, but whatever that is. I don't know. 55, 60? I don't know what a one-man underman is in 3 versus 3, but you know you can do it. Okay, moving on to the next. We've got Dash Rendar, Dad Bod Boba, and Veteran Han. So I'm kind of up in the air about this third one, but the reason for Dash and Dad Bod is same as 5 versus 5, right? Dad Bod's payout says that whenever he receives rewards from a contract, or when the leader is another non-bounty hunter scoundrel ally, he also gains the payout. So his payout is activated straight out the gate, and his damage can be punishing. Additionally, he's a little slower than Veteran Han. I like this, right? Because Dadbod's going to do his AoE on the first turn and hit all targets. So if anybody has a foresight or anything like that, he'll clear it, and then Veteran Han comes in right on the heels with an AoE ability block, ideally. You want to have your Veteran Han Smuggler up and over 100% potency to give yourself the best chance of making that stick. Next is going to be Rex and 5s. Now, there's a few different variations on this. Xeris can be here, Tech can be here. Xeris is the strongest, but the thing is, guys, is there's a lot of circumstances where you put JML on defense, and Xeris is so good there. We'll get down to the GLs further on down. But Tech is okay here. I was considering who else is good from Galactic Republic. Now that I have Qui-Gon here for 3 versus 3, I don't really see a lot of Padme, Ahsoka, JKA getting done anymore, right? That was a tried and true for us on offense in the past. But I was thinking about maybe using Padme in here, but Padme's no good because she stops turn meter gain, and that's kind of what Rex is doing. So if you were going to have Padme in here, maybe Padme lead. Something to think about. Padme Rex 5s. It's something you might want to try. It's something I will probably try because Padme's officially homeless now. I'm not going to use her as a lead for Ahsoka and JKA now that I've got, Qui-Gon up to snuff. Okay, now we've got Hux, Lobster, and Foss. This is just a tried and true, guys. If they don't, there's a lot of things that counter it, but if they don't reserve something adequate, this can definitely blow you out. Same here with Bosk, Boba, and Dengar. So you have 2 AoEs, and in fact, this, the bombs thrown by Dengar does 8 hits, right? Not 5. So you've got the 5 from Boba, the 8 from Dengar, and then Bosk lead, I think it's deal damage to the weakest enemy 10 times, right. So it shouldn't be too hard to do when you're dropping, 13 attacks out the gate. Yeah, you should be alright. Boba can ignore taunts, he can do his own thing. Okay, now we're getting into the tougher teams, alright, so JKL, Shaak Ti, and General Kenobi. I am by far, not the first one to toot about the glory that is this team. I've seen Endal, I've seen Zareth, I've seen others talk about it, and the one thing that they all have in common is that for 3 versus 3, you're going to have JKL absolutely wooden speed slow. Absolutely as slow as possible. And then Shaak Ti needs to be as fast as you can afford to make her, which is going to be kind of a pain in the ass for me because right now I have her around 340. Guys, that ain't enough. You want her to be booking up near 360. That way she could get out in front of Darth Vader's. People will use Darth Vader to get out on this account. And then GK here is just another Dispel and a Mass Assist. You can't go wrong there. Shaak Ti can call an assist. GK calls assist. It's just ideal. So the super slow JKL means that if Shaak Ti is able to take a turn and set them off, and JKL goes next, man, whoever you're fighting, they are just Stone Age, like 112 speed, right? So no good, no bueno. All right, then we've got Maul, Canderous, and Bo-Katan. I set this on defense a bunch last 3 versus 3. People reserved proper things for it, and mostly 50-40 it, but they were using good teams to do it. Occasionally people will drop, but you can't ignore this as a threat. Maul's going to set himself off with his middle, and then Bo-Katan will be the next person to go. She'll throw her AoE, which will dispel and put down daze. All that should hopefully have caught Canderous Ordo up, and then he'll do Maul will go next, then Canderous will go, right? So, there's a bit of a pain in there. And both these guys are Relic 7, so they'll tank a decent bit and cover for Maul. Alright, down to GLs. This is what I was talking about. So JML, Zaris, and Ezra. This is just a good Jedi team. Yeah, we don't have Jolee here, but I like Jolee on offense better than I do here. You can't whittle down a JML this way when you have Zaris. And then Ezra is just another all-around G. He hits decently hard when he's, well-geared, well-reliced, well-modded. He can dispel buffs with his middle, which is also just a very big hit. And his assist call with his third is great for either of these allies. All right, and then we're coming down to Rey. Rey, Armor, and L3. All right, this was put against me a couple times late in the last 3 versus 3. It's super fun because it's chaotic. If Armor should put a 3-stack of Beskar on Rey, you've got a real problem. Because if you're used to using Sith Eternal to clean up Rey, if Rey gets that 3-stack, the only way you're winning is if you brought your own armor with C and got him the 3-stack, so that you could trade blows and come out ahead. Otherwise, you'll get timed out. It's not that you get blown out, it's that you're not able to cut through the bonus protection that she stacks from Lifeblood. And then you have Beskar restoring that protection. So it can just run away from a Sith Eternal. And then, of course, Lord Vader. So Lord Vader, Darth Vader, Royal Guard. Nothing too crazy there. Yes, you could set Maul with Lord Vader. Yes, it would make it tougher. But then that denies you another decent team. And in 3 versus 3, you'll be breaking up a bunch of your best 5-man squads. And you'll find that, the 3 core members of it make up a great 3 versus 3 team. But what are you going to do about the other 2? So what happens to Canderous and Bo-Katan and characters that are excellent under Maul lead, but almost useless anywhere else? Maybe you could do a Bo-Katan lead with Canderous and some other Mandalorians as like a B-C team, but we don't want to put down garbage defenses, right, guys? Okay, let's move on to offense. So, tried and true, Imperial Troopers, Veers, Piet, and Dark. You could do Veers, Piet, and somebody that's not Dark, if it isn't a team that requires the power of Dark Trooper. You could use range here. And then you could have, or you could even have Snow there. Then you could have a Gideon, Dark Trooper, and range, have double assist calling, something like that. But using Gideon to command Dark Troopers is good, but not as good as some of the other options. We'll cover it in a minute. All right, so a Bastila lead. So you've been wondering maybe where's Tassinix using his cam and all those Jedi shenanigans we looked on the defense teams. Well, here he is. I like Bastila and Cam as an offense team, and now with Mace Windu, he's going to function as our tank. But most importantly, he is a tank that calls an extra assist. He has an assist calling ability. We have an assist call from Bastila, an assist call from Mace, and Cam, who desperately wants to be called to assist. So, nice. Then you got Crew, Kylo, and Fox. This is just a solid, dependable team. You could drop a member here, probably Kylo Ren, to put in Watt if you were so inclined. And then you can put Tank Tech on Crew, Weapon Tech on Fox, and just truck somebody. If you're picking your battle right, there's no way in hell they'll get through a Crew. Especially a well-built Crew. He's going to heal from his tank tech. He's going to heal from his unique. He can't get shocked. It's not a bad idea. So I always put it in like this, but if you wanted to use Watt there, it's not a bad call. Now you might have seen a lot of content creators talk about this team here. Thrawn, Gideon, and Stormtrooper is capable of taking down that CLS team. So that RJT counter for CLS is usable in a lot of places. Some people wanted to put it more on defense because it can catch you off, man. And also, RJT, BB-8, R2, commandingly powerful defense to stop up Wampa, right? Because you would definitely get the RJT calling BB-8, and if he basics, he puts down Tenacity down, and that's over for Wampa. Anyway, digressing there. This Thrawn, Gideon, and Stormtrooper team shuts down that CLS 2PO C3PO. It's all about control, stacking armor, shred, stalling out turns, abusing the leadership ability from Thrawn to cycle back around and keep it moving. Your biggest risk to losing this fight versus CLS is timeout. Otherwise, I full bannered that team. You know, you've got Thrawn, who restores protection. You've got Stormtrooper, who at the start of every turn is going to give himself some bonus protection, help keep him topped off. You're able to move things around with turn meters such that you can clear the fight and finish with absolutely full banners. So, love this counter. You'll be seeing a lot out of me this season. All right, we talked about it. Qui-Gon Jinn, JKA, and Ahsoka. So, you know, it's a better version of the Padme, JKA, and Ahsoka team. You can definitely punch up harder than you used to with the Padme lead. So it's a nice option. Sith Triumvirate, no introductions needed. They just handle business on a variety of teams. You've got tanks, they've got Isolate, and multiple ways to dispel it. Gotta love them. All right, then you've got JKR, Grandmaster, and Jolie. You see me use this season after season, guys. These three are just a holy trinity. They're so abusive to just about anything, and this is another team where if you can stretch the fight out long enough, you could possibly finish with full banners. It depends on what you're going against. Then we've got RJT, BB-8R2. Again, that's just a stellar offense team. It's been with me for long time. Can't say enough about it. You know, you'll have tenacity down from BB-8. R2 can stun. You can put... you want to, when you're using this against CLS, you're actually trying to put BB-8. You're using the Foresight ability here on BB-8 so that everybody but BB-8 is in stealth. And that way, when CLS goes in to hit him, BB-8 can evade, there's more turn meter gained, and your team gets further ahead. That's the idea. So, you saw that I had Slacker daca Zombie outlined for use on defense. You could also... No, I think I also have... No, I have that marked for offense, don't I? Yeah. So Slacker daca Zombie is great on offense. And then you have leftover Night Sisters, right? Mother Talzin, Spirit, and Asajj handle business. This is a good team. You're relying on Mother Talzin's leadership to revive anybody who dies, but that's pretty powerful. And you pick the team with this. You pick somebody that you know you can beat. And you just accept that you can't get full banners here because you're not going to have full protection at the end of the fight. All right, Bounty Hunters. You got Aura, Mandalorian, and Grief. Been using this one for a long time too, so there's no mystery to this. It's just the quickest way to the contract. You pop somebody and you clean up the fight. Grief gives you the chance to have max banners. It's really nice. The reason I made Aura Relic and pushed her up to Relic 7 is because of some of the like BAM teams with Nest or whatever teams with Nest. Nest is a savage, and I've had Nest just look at Aura and knock her teeth out. When she was Relic 3 or Relic 5, I've just straight up lost her in one hit from full health and protection, and that's why I took her up. You could definitely mod her differently and avoid putting all this gear on her. I have her geared as a proper attacker. I could have put her in protection primaries and stuff like that, just to make her durable, because her role here really isn't damage, so much as, look, we just need you to survive and, you know, get the contract off, and ideally use your basic to stun people, other good things like that. But damage? So food for thought about your modding priority. All right, Fennec Shan. Don't forget that in 3 versus 3, she's actually a viable leadership because she gains 100% defense, max health, max protection, and offense at the start of battle. The bonuses are reduced by 25% for each other ally. So if you go in with herself, she gets the full bonus. If you go in with a full team, she gets no bonus. The contract is a bit of a pain. Dispel, 20 debuffs are dispelled or expire from bounty hunter or scoundrel allies. That might take a little while, so you'll have to pick who you're going after carefully, but you have time on your side because you have all this extra bulk. And once you're popped off, man, you hit super, super hard. So don't think that you can't solo stuff. Just look for the opportunity. EP, Mara Jade, and Starkiller. Starkiller is kind of just a dude in 3 versus 3. The CG hasn't made any change to Starkiller to make him as just as powerful in 3s as he is in 5s. So your guess is as good as mine where you want to use him. Maybe you want to do something else with Lord Vader and not have Darth Vader in there. You can definitely do EP Mara Jade Darth Vader to devastating effect. You could do EP Mara Jade Tarkin to devastating effect. Maybe, you know, Starkiller just seems like a better character to me. I could make more use of him than I could of Tarkin or something else filling in here. But, yeah, Starkiller is still going to get the calls to assist. He just can't pull down the ship. But he'll do, you know, he'll do decent damage. I'd be interested to hear what you guys are thinking about how to use your Starkiller. Alright, and then you have Slacker Daca Zombie, like I was talking about. And this goes through your Lord Vaders. This affords you the ability to have a nice 2 other separate First Order teams, right? You're not consuming anything. And then we still have that 1 Night Sister team for offense. So just about effective resource use. And then you have Sith Eternal and Set. You could do C solo against a lot of things. C Set against a bunch of stuff. Don't forget, there are certain occasions where you want to use C Watt. Like if you're going against JMK, most of the time you're going to want to do health tech to him so that he can heal once JMK takes the fast ultimate. And then if it's like JMK Cat, they're just going to beat him down underneath his protection. So you would want to have the healing tech for that. You could have tank tech for matchups where you're concerned about ability block on Sith Eternal. Also, don't forget, in a pinch, don't forget that putting Traya under Sith Eternal is going to be helpful if you don't have Watt, but you're also worried about debuffs. Because as long as Traya lives, her unique will cleanse debuffs off of any Sith ally when they take their turn. So Sith Eternal could get ability blocked, get his turn, drop it, and move on if you have Traya. Probably another good reason to put Set in there. Have a pre-taunt tank or something like that. Any dark side tank that you can make use of with Sith Eternal's chains, you could do. But Set's a big boy, and you're not going to use him in a lot of places. Okay, and then we have, you know, JMK, Cat, and Jedi Knight Guardian. Now, that last Jedi, substitute your preferred tank Jedi there. Wouldn't recommend Mace because Mace, you know, drops taunt. He converts taunt into his unique buff, and that unique buff can be readily dispelled, whereas a regular taunt cannot be readily dispelled because of JMK's lead. So I like Jedi Knight Guardian. I got her up to speed here recently. She's been on my to-do list forever. I haven't taken up Juhani. I've seen some people take up Juhani. She does have that nice stun on her first special. That can be helpful. But, you know, for where I'm at, I'm comfortable doing Jedi Knight Guardian because she's valuable in that I can make her huge and slow, and this is a perfect use for her. Right here on offense, low value tank, I can afford to lose her, she's not critical anywhere else. Something for me to think about. Okay, in Visas Mar, whenever I'm making up these loadouts, that's kind of like my dividing line where we wrap up. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Feel free to comment, like and subscribe here on Discord. Well, here on YouTube, and then get at me on Discord with your questions that you don't post here on YouTube. You know, I'm always happy to talk, but I'm looking forward to 3 versus 3. It's going to be a good time. My guess is they're probably going to do this like once every 6 months. It's kind of what they've shown us here, at least initially, and I don't see why they would want to have like a broken cadence where they do 5-6 months of 5 versus 5, then a 3 versus 3, then what, less than 5 months of 5 versus 5? I don't see them doing that. Why have this, you know, weird broken up pattern? So it's going to be real. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you soon. Take care, guys.